Committee discussed the lobbyist disclosure bill for almost 3 hours this afternoon. If passed, House Bill 1125 would require lobbyists to disclose all gifts that they give to lawmakers. Lawmakers reporter Todd Haney talked with the bill's author, Representative Ken Poston.
I think overall there were good changes. Again, one of the problems with this original bill, it was so comprehensive and it had input by so many people that it lacked what it had in comprehensiveness and scope. It lacked in some consistency throughout the document. Also, as it has been narrowed down to the lobbyist disclosure provision only, which was fine because the other two components are just enhancements of existing law. As it has been narrowed down to the lobbyist disclosure part only, we had to pull some definitions from earlier parts of the bill to include, and I didn't get all of the definitions in, and so we're having to redefine and I think probably refine the scope of this bill. I'm very pleased with what the committee is doing. I think that time is my problem at this point. And this bill was introduced the first day of the session. It's just one of the many frustrating things about that happens sometimes in the legislative process.
So you don't consider this a watered-down version of your original bill, do you?
I don't. I think the original bill was very comprehensive, and I guess technically you could say it has been narrowed down. But as opposed to anything that has been watered down, this has been refined. The part that has survived is lobbyist disclosure, which is totally new ground in Georgia. And I would think that watering down would mean that part would not have survived, and we would just be doing some mundane addition to something that was already existing law. We're doing more than that. This is something that Georgia is one of 2 states that does not have some form of, and I think that we're going to start with a good form of lobbyist disclosure.
Why did you initiate this bill?
I've been asked that a lot lately. I've probably, I would say that last year, this is my second term here. My first session of my second term last year, I was involved in as the author of legislation that by the end of it, it was a business type legislation. By the end of it, there had been so much money spent by one side, or probably both sides, but particularly one side of the issue, to the tune of over $750,000 to lobby, to influence the legislation. I'm not meaning cash. I just mean the total expenditure of facts, figures, entertainment, whatever. It opened my eyes. What worried me more than anything was that without any regulation, there were serious allegations on both sides of what was going on. And I think that that's how I got involved in the interest of ethics. The Secretary of State put together a 61-member commission that looked at what we had, looked at other states, and offered something. And that was House Bill, the original form of House Bill 1125. I got involved just because I care for the legislature, I care for my colleagues here, I care for the state of Georgia and the citizens' right to feel good about their government, to feel that their interests are being served. I don't think a lot of bad activity goes on. Everybody's human, but I do think that the citizens, the fact that they feel that there's a less confidence in the system, that alone justifies the creation of a Lobbyist Disclosure Act.
The Senate today considered an